Thinking about buying a franchise? Don't go it alone. Just like a buyer's agent in real estate, you deserve someone who's on your side every step of the way. That's where Todd Abraham, the franchise guy, comes in. Todd's consulting services are completely free to anyone looking to buy a franchise. He'll represent your interest, make sure all your questions are answered, and walk you through the entire buying process. With Todd in your corner, you'll have the best chance for success from your first call to the day you hold the keys to your new business. So before you buy a franchise, talk to someone who knows the industry inside and out and works for you. Call Todd Abraham, the franchise guy, today at 423-381-0925 for a free, no-pressure consultation. That's 423-381-0925. Your future in franchising starts here. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Todd Abraham. We are here with the Franchise Marketing Systems Client Spotlight Podcast, and today we are blessed to have with us Mr. Scott Miller, who is the founder and CEO of Senior Consulting Advisors. And I was telling Scott as we were getting ready to do the interview, I said the area that I live in, I said right here in Athens, Tennessee, is about 70% retired people. So I told him, I said, you definitely need to get somebody here locally to buy a franchise because Senior Consulting Advisors does some very good things to help seniors navigate the complexities of senior care on every different aspect, whether it's going, do I go to an assisted living home? Do I go to a nursing home? Do I do home health care? And, if I'm going to do home health care, who's the best company to provide that for me? And that is where Senior Consulting Advisors comes in. So without any further ado, Mr. Scott Miller, welcome to the show and let us know about this awesome company that you're talking about today.
Todd, thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it very much. I spent many, many years in the senior living industry as an administrator and as a C-suite executive, watching what I called the pitfalls of senior care and just understanding that there were some unsavory characters out there and that seniors were easily preyed upon because they were vulnerable. And so I wanted to build a company that served the needs of seniors and heard their voice and protected their dignity. And many times seniors are told what to do as opposed to being asked what they want to do. And we feel it's our obligation to build a plan or a roadmap around what the senior truly wants or needs. With that said, our model is very holistic. We address senior needs at home, aging in place. We address transportation needs for seniors, and we help seniors with transitional care. And we also work heavily at the acute and post-acute care levels, helping clients that have entered a chronic disease cycle or an acute disease and are transferring out of a hospital and need to go home and have management of their care. We put all of those pieces in place because it can be overwhelming. The seniors get in situations where they're isolated, they're alone, they don't have support networks, family might not be nearby, and we try to fill those gaps and make sure that they're well cared for at every level.
That's awesome. And do you find yourself in those situations not only finding the best provider, but saving them money in the process?
100%. The key is not always based around money, but one of the qualifying things in getting to know a senior is understanding what their budget is and then finding the resources that can work within that budget, whether it be somebody that's private pay, somebody that's utilizing Medicare resources, or even somebody that's on Medicaid. There is a different care opportunity in each one of those experiences that we need to address for a senior. A lot of times seniors get stuck on fixed income. And they may not be able to afford, what is considered to be ideal, and they don't know how to find the right choice that works within their budget. So we do work with them on that as well, and identifying resources that can support their needs and still meet their financial qualifications at the same time.
That's great. So now how long has you started out as Florida. Tell us about the company you started, how long it's been in business, and how long you've been a franchise.
I appreciate the question. Florida Senior Consulting and Senior Consulting Advisors go back about one company further. And what I started when I retired from the senior care industry just before COVID, I decided that I was going to start a small consulting firm to help seniors. And I was specifically focused on care management and working with chronic illness and end-stage illness cases and helping seniors that are vulnerable. Once we put that model in place and started to put in our white glove services and our hands-on approach and diving into understanding what their needs truly are, it started to take off like wildfire. So we were a small agency, and we were Sarasota Senior Consulting. And then as the need grew greater and we saw the clients coming in from all over the state asking for help, we expanded the company to become Florida Senior Consulting Advisors. And over the last 2 years, we have now positioned ourselves in 25 counties in the state of Florida. So we are serving a vast majority of the state of Florida, with the exception of some of the more rural areas. And we launched the franchise model about 6 months ago, and we branded Senior Consulting Advisors, which obviously Florida Senior Consulting Advisors remains the parent company of. Senior Consulting Advisors is our national brand, and it's our goal to be able to impact the lives of seniors, throughout the country with this brand and with this service model.
That's awesome. So what kind of experience would the ideal candidate have? Is it someone that needs to be experienced in the healthcare industry? To talk about the ideal candidate.
Not necessarily, but it certainly is a benefit. I think the first things that we look for when we want to identify the ideal franchisee or franchise owner, somebody that has empathy and compassion and a deep, deep caring for elders. Those are the first qualifiers. If you have those things, you can overcome a lot of obstacles. If you have those things in combination with some experience in healthcare or in the senior care industry specifically, or a sales and marketing background and a real entrepreneurial spirit, along with those qualities of integrity and kindness and just a way to, it's very important in the way we deal with seniors that we have real empathy and we treat them with compassion and we protect their dignity. So those are the paramount, I would say, the foundational pieces of being the right owner. The rest can be acquired and learned, but you start with that, and then healthcare becomes the next qualifier, and then an entrepreneurial spirit, of course, is vital to anybody that wants to start their own business and run it in their own community. They have to have that mindset to be able to be successful.
I just had a thought, and I don't know if you've given this thought, but wouldn't somebody who already owns, say, a health insurance brokerage, someone who sells health insurance, either part-time or full-time, would that be somebody who's be a really good candidate for a franchise?
It would. Somebody that's in the health insurance industry, especially somebody selling long-term care insurance, is dealing with a senior portfolio every day, and they understand their needs and their financial ability as well. There are many other businesses that align with us, and if we went into that, we could talk the entire show about it. There's about 40 different industries that provide services to seniors in our market space. But this business aligns very well with somebody that's doing financial planning, somebody that's doing insurance, people that are in home care or home health care. It is an adjunct without a doubt.
That's awesome. So you've launched the franchise about 6 months ago, and you've got a really nice website here. In fact, I was going to tell anybody that's interested, if you go to seniorconsultingadvisorfranchise.com, you can see all the great facts, and you can actually get a request a brochure there about all the benefits of owning a senior consulting advisors franchise. So talk about the cost to get involved and, like what kind of revenue that they can expect. How are they going to generate revenue? Obviously, it's a consulting firm, but where are those revenue sources coming from?
I appreciate the question. We have about 3 different revenue sources in our company mix. The first one is paid referrals. So we're contracted as an example, in the state of Florida. We're contracted with every major senior living community in the state of Florida. So we provide transitional placement services for seniors into senior living at no charge. So we're a free consulting service to the senior in that regard, without bias, because we're contracted at virtually all the communities of note. And in those cases, we just select the communities that are most appropriate for them. When we're working with a senior, we're vetting their socialization, their spiritual needs, their social needs, their financial needs, all of the things that are important to that individual. And then we're trying to match them to communities in our market space that deliver or check most of those boxes. Many of the communities are different in the way they provide care and the way they provide services. The number one thing we look for is the best care possible and then the best environment possible. So we do get paid in those instances by the communities that we serve with the senior. We also offer a transportation program. And our transportation program is an annual or monthly membership program that drives revenue to the company in exchange for seniors having access to transportation for anything that they need. It's a very, very unique transportation program that's built for seniors that don't have the ability to use technology. They can get a single 800 number, and it gives them a concierge service that accesses food delivery, trips to doctor's appointments, medical appointments, trips to church on Sunday, if they want to go out and socialize at their community center, if they need to get somewhere in an emergency. This service becomes available to them with a single 800 number. They just dial it, tell the concierge what they need. The concierge makes all the arrangements and creates the delivery of those services. The third opportunity is providing care management at home. And that's really being the quarterback of a care program in the home where we do oversight of medication management, oversight of accessibility and adaptability of the home. Did I say medication management? Probably did.
Yes.
Care management, home health, PT, OT, nutrition programming, spiritual need delivery, making sure they have transportation in place. So we kind of oversee whatever gaps they have in their home environment, and we charge for those services to the individual, and in some cases to insurances as well. So
Which
those
even though they're paying for it, still, because you're there with the knowledge and experience that you have, I just want to interject this real quick. It sounds to me like you're saving them money, even though they're paying you what they might wind up spending if they didn't have your service could be far more than what they're paying you to help them to manage some of these things.
I would agree. I'll give you a specific example. Let's say we go into a senior home and they're a fall risk or they're having issues getting around, and we identify that they have stairs or that they have a tub that they have to lift their leg over to get in the shower, or that they need grab bars by the toilet or grab bars by the bed. Our assessment of those needs may be a billable cost, but we have state and federal resources that can then deliver on those needs, sometimes at no cost.
Wow.
So we put them in touch with the right personnel. There are departments of elder services in the state of Florida actually have grant money to support those accessibility and adaptability options. If they have stairs into the home, we can have ramps built for them that don't cost them anything. So we can certainly not only save them money, but deliver them resources that they didn't even know they had, because these things aren't heavily promoted. And many times, even in the Medicare insurance under Part D and certain private pay insurances, there are provisions buried deep in that paperwork that will provide reimbursements for a lot of these expenses to help seniors age in place successfully at home. So yes, we bring resources, education, advocacy. And then the question you asked me about owning a franchise with Senior Consulting Advisors, we're a $50,000 entry fee to get into our franchise model. I think somebody that wants to be successful should be able to have resources of at least twice that amount to be able to establish themselves in a market. And I can't speak to what they'll make, but I can tell you what our markets do. And we operate multiple markets on the west coast of Florida, and each individual territory is doing between $570,000 or $750,000 a year in revenue. And our EBITDA, which is earnings before interest taxes, typically runs at about 50%. So a husband-wife team or an individual with an employee or a 2 to 3 person team should be able to realize an annual net income in the $250,000 to $350,000 range once they're matured and established. So it's a home-based business. There's no brick and mortar required. You can run this business from your own home. And you spend a lot of time in the field as an ambassador in your community for the seniors that you serve. You spend a lot of time working with hospitals, skilled nursing facilities, senior centers, churches, community centers, all of the places that would provide or have a need to integrate with seniors are all of the accounts that you would manage and help the company grow through those relationships.
Wouldn't hurt to go play bingo, would it?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that. We actually call bingo quite a bit.
That's awesome. Yeah, so it's
fun.
like, well, Scott, I'm going to buy a franchise with senior consulting advisors, and I'm also going to start my own bingo game because we know seniors love bingo. But anyway, that's just a fun side effect there. But so I would think, and I'm thinking out loud here, but I would think that even the right person could even like buy a franchise with you, because there is financing available, we know, for people who have the right credit. But even somebody who would be willing, like before they get themselves established with you, to like work a part-time job and do this full-time, if they needed to, and they're motivated enough, just until they get themselves established and really, like you said, build their network up. But the other thing that I'm hearing that I really love is that somebody that comes on board with you, they've got your company to fall back on for all these various resources that they otherwise would have to go and search out themselves, but they have you there to advise them right every step of the way on every facet of, like you were saying, where do we get the grants and how do we do this and that? That's y'all are there for that.
We are. And one of the things that we have been absolutely diligent about is building an elite training, support, and onboarding program for our franchisees. We want our franchisees to be as successful as our local businesses are. And we've built a tremendous platform for how to be successful in this industry. We're prepared to teach them how to execute, how to access resources, how to present in their communities, how to understand each step of the process along the way. And I think that goes without saying that one of the greatest fears of going into a franchise is the unknown. We would like to take the veil off of that and be there hands-on. I intend to be in market with every franchisee that comes on board, providing one-on-one personalized training, helping them get acclimated to the systems, the processes, the procedures, and lay the groundwork for them to be successful. Our team is positioned to be a support mechanism for every franchisee that comes on board and to teach them how to build a successful model just like we've done.
That's awesome. So now when they come on board, will they be incorporated into your main website for the company, for the national company? Will they get their own website? How does that work?
They'll get their own website landing page they can drive local traffic to with local information, and then they can do their own SEO campaigning off of that page, which is posting of, informational articles and educational pieces to try to have local influence. But that will also filter up to our master website so that people, if they're searching and they're looking for information and they want more, they can go to the parent site and see even more detail about how this business has evolved over time.
Are clients able to book services through your primary website?
They are. They
They
are. And most of the time, clients are inquiring through the website, and then those inquiries come to us, and we directly engage with our clients. And I mean, we've got some very high standards for how we operate. When a client inquires with a need in our company, our goal is a response time of 30 minutes or less to
That's
get
great.
back in touch with that client. Now, it's hard to do that 100% of the time, but we're efficient about 97% of the time in getting that done. Because we recognize when a senior is reaching out or a family member is reaching out to the point where they have filled out their information and asked for help, we recognize that most times those needs are emerging, and they may be in a crisis situation. They may have something, a fall may have occurred. There may be a decline in health. There may have been a family gathering where they recognize that there's a deficit, and all of a sudden a concern has risen. So we surely as a team recognize the need to be responsive and to be quick to get in touch so that we can start to help them right away. The other way is they reach us directly through our 800 number and contacting us that way, and then selecting the market they want to be in.
So here's a good question, a follow-up to that question. So when somebody buys a franchise, say here in the Knoxville, Tennessee, Chattanooga area, and then they're officially on board as a franchisee, and those leads start coming through and they're in their market, that business is going to go to them. Is that correct?
100% of the time. Even
Perfect.
in Florida, as an example, if somebody were to buy a franchise on the East Coast, where we serve digitally, and then we have traveling managers that help out with the East Coast. But if somebody were to buy one there, or Tennessee or North Carolina, and the leads came in for that market, those leads are automatically forwarded to the franchisee in that territory. And we will probably drive a lot of business for those markets that we serve. We currently, with our SEO strategy, get leads from all over the state of Florida. And even though we're positioned in Central and West Florida, we get leads in the Panhandle, East Coast, Jacksonville, and out of state. And when we get those, we create opportunities and help those seniors that come in. And
that's awesome.
We're excited about being able to have what we call partners in business that will be in other markets that we can help support and drive business to, and in addition to what they can do on their own.
And that's why I was thinking again that somebody who already owns an insurance agency, especially one that specializes in health insurance, would be just a ideal candidate, because not only could they generate a great bit of revenue doing your business, but they could also generate new insurance clients by working in your business as well. So that's pretty awesome. So, after they sign on board as a franchisee, what kind of a turnaround time is it before they're able to begin to generate a revenue, and how long is the training and that sort of thing?
All right. The training is ongoing, obviously. We provide 2 weeks of in-person training up front to get them oriented and acclimated to the model and how to do things. We also have a complete training module program that's built so that they can go from fundamentals and 101 all the way up to expert services. And we teach them each step of the way, whether we do it via the internet or in person. And then if there's a need past the initial training phase, we're happy to go back into market. We're happy to talk to them over the phone, engage via FaceTime or Teams meeting, and continue to coach them all along the way. The ramp up time to have a franchise from the purchase to actively doing business is realistically about 90 days. And that's not bad when you think about it.
No.
Contract acquisition, the very first piece. You have to commence contract acquisition right away. We have a dedicated contract manager that is going to support franchisees in doing just that. And then from there, we have a fairly basic but specific targeted model on understanding the account approach and knowing who you need to engage with and build deep, meaningful relationships with in order for business to be coming your way. And So your first 90 days is acclimatation, orientation, training, contract acquisition. From there, you're pretty much live, boots on the ground, developing your market and starting to build those relationships that are necessary to advance the company. Within a year, you're probably at about 50% of your revenue capacity. And within 2 years, you should be considered a mature franchise. And within 2 to 3 years, you should be doing consistent numbers. This is all about relationships. And I teach how to understand where a relationship is and how to take that relationship to the next step. And I'll teach each of my franchisees to do the same thing.
I could see somebody that bought a franchise and just really excelled at it, did really good at it. And then maybe they're doing so well at it that they know somebody who may not qualify to buy one, but who could run another one for them and help them do it so that they could go buy another unit, another location in a different city or state or what have you. I could see that happening, with your business model. So that's pretty exciting too.
I agree. And as a franchisee, when you buy a territory, once you're the first in that territory, you get first right of refusal for any bordering territories. So if it's a franchisee with an entrepreneurial spirit that is finding success and wants to grow, they have the ability to add on or bring on partners that can run a second territory. Multi-unit owners are obviously a desirable asset on both sides. They make more money. We have more franchisees. So it is, and it also creates continuity of care and services. When you've got one entity operating 3 territories, they're delivering the same capacity message at every one of those territories, and there's consistency. So there's value in that. Not that everybody has to be a multi-unit owner. You can make a good living with a single territory. But 2 and 3 territory owners, those owners can do, $1.5 million to $2 million a year in revenue, and they become a small corporation.
That's great.
So, you can take this at a very basic level, or you can own a whole state if you wanted to, if you had the resources.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I tell you, if I didn't have my own franchise company myself, I would definitely consider buying with you because I love seniors. I always have, and I thank God that my son, he's 22, but he's got that same gift. Just a real genuine, passionate love for seniors. Because to me, if somebody has got silver in their hair, they know things that can help me. They know things that can help anybody that will listen to them. And what I love about what you do is you have found a company model that helps those folks, like you said, in a very honest and forthright way. And then you have found a way to generate revenue that is in different forms, which can either be paid by them or by different, like hospitals or assisted living or what have you. But the honesty part, I think that's what really makes your company so awesome because, we have a lot of seniors in this country. I mean, the baby boomer generation is now in the senior generation. And, my own mom is just turned 75. I hope she doesn't listen to this, so she doesn't want to beat me up. But I'm excited. I think you've got a really good model here. And there's, like you said, there's some really good ideal candidates out there who are already successful in their own business, like health insurance brokerage or what have you, who can really just take your business model and accent what they're doing and do really well with it. With that being said, you want to give your contact information for anyone who's interested to talk to you about owning a franchise?
Yeah, you can reach the company directly at 1-800-969-7176, or you can go to the company website, which is www.seniorconsultingadvisor.com. And right on that website, you can request information, you can request brochures, You can engage with a senior advisor if you would like to have questions answered. And more than anything, the website is a library of information to help give seniors, it empowers them. Everything from teaching them about long-term care and Medicaid and disadvantages of certain healthcare programs, to teaching them about how to plan for longevity and aging well. We try the best we can to educate seniors and their families with every article we write. And I think our library has well over 250 very, very specific articles in different categories that are available for reading. And that's the best place to start, is be well informed. If you can be well informed, that's the first step to being able to navigate. You don't want to fly blind through this. It is a process that if you go into it unknowing, you become vulnerable. And so that's the thing we want to avoid as a company, is making sure that our seniors are not vulnerable and that they're well prepared to make the next decision or make the next step in their lives with support and the right resources, and to make a decision that has staying power. It's so vital. The greatest professors on earth are the seniors that we serve, and we need to listen to them more. I think many seniors get discounted and looked past and not understood and not appreciated. But if you take the time to sit down and listen, the knowledge and the stories and the history that these seniors can give to us has value that I just can't explain in words. So that's our approach.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Well, we want to keep this, like we say, short and sweet, as we've talked about with so many folks. For sadly, people's attention spans have decreased. It's sadly because of technology, but also people are so busy these days. There's so many things that there's so many things that people have access to that wasn't around 50 years ago. As a result of that, everybody's just really busy. So we like to keep these interviews short and sweet, give people time to really get the best of the information. But really what we want them to do is to reach out to you and your company. This is Scott Miller. It is senior. Let me make sure I get this right. SeniorConsultingAdvisor.com is the primary website, and SeniorConsultingAdvisorFranchise.com is the site where they can get all the information about buying a franchise. And that link is also available about the franchise on your primary site. So, Scott, thank you so much for being on board with us today. In closing, just give us a little bit of information about what you're passionate about helping your franchisees. You've said some things already, but is there anything maybe that you have thought about that you haven't said that you'd like to convey to them before we wrap up today?
Yeah, I have a mindset in life, and my mindset in life is that you need to pour into the cup of people that are pouring into yours. And so it's a give and take. And that's the type of relationship we want to have. We want to have franchisees that know and feel supported. And likewise, we want them to be dedicated to the model and to the seniors that we serve. It's very important to us as a company to have consistency from location to location that actually delivers the values of our mission statement and the values of what we do for seniors. So if you've got the right mindset and you love seniors and you want to deal with them and help them to have the best possible life they can have, this is an amazing franchise to have, and it can give you a really good living at the same time.
That's awesome. Well, Mr. Scott Miller, again, Senior Consulting Advisor is the company, and we appreciate your time and very excited about all the things that we've talked about here today. And let's hope in a year or two's time you've got franchises all over the country and you're more busy than you know what to do.
I appreciate that very much, Todd. And I would certainly love to have franchises all over the Tennessee market where you are, because I know it's a big retirement market and there's probably a big need.
All right. Well, thank you so much and have a great day. And again, you're listening to the Franchise Marketing Systems Client Spotlight broadcast here on franchiseradio.net. And if you are a company who is looking to franchise your business, and like Scott has done with FMS and I've done with FMS, please contact me directly at 423-381-0925. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you.